The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. And, of course, the Fed came out and dropped a chalupa in the punch bowl. We were up fairly high. Let's see if I've got a current number. And we're up 5 points on the S&P cash. We were up another 14, so we were up almost 20 points on the S&P cash today. This isn't the final word, especially on days like this. It pops up and pops down. They didn't do anything. They didn't change anything. There was a little bit more dissent than last time, and that's what a lot of people are thinking. Well, maybe next time they're going to do it, and I don't think they're going to do it next time either. They're just not going to do it. But what there is and has been is a lot of volume, 2.7, almost 2.8 billion shares as we start the show. So today was one of those days. It was a huge volume day already, or it looks like it's going to be one already. And the question is, a lot of people, is this Groundhog Day? They stick their heads out of the hole only to see their own shadow and go back in. I suspect that we had a lot of people that were willing or thinking about shorting this market, and they thought, good time to hop on. My guess is that much like Apple, in a day or two, this will be long forgotten. They're not going to do anything before Christmas. They're not going to do anything during the election. Face it, they are not going to do anything. And at this point, isn't the Fed just the boy who cried wolf? No one's going to believe them until they actually physically do it. It doesn't matter how much they say they're going to do it. No one's going to believe them. Heard some commentary before about what would change if they did raise rates. And I brought this up a few times before. But at least for the people of the street, they pretty much cotton to the idea that 1/3 of all the current earnings have to do with zero interest rates. And therefore, if rates started to go up, it would hit earnings significantly. When you have free money, things are rapidly and hugely different. I think a lot of the technology bump that we've had was the thought that maybe the Fed would raise rates. And we saw, a little bit of pullback here in Microsoft today and some others. But, well, since it looks like we're still up 7 points and the world has not collapsed, we haven't been sucked into a black hole because of the Fed's decision, we'll wait and see how this hour develops. In the meantime, it's time to get this party started.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And on today, in 1976, more than 184 years after the stock exchange started and began on Wall Street, Alice Jarko becomes the first woman ever to regularly work on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. And, when I see the pictures of it, it still looks like one woman. It doesn't. Not much has seemed to have changed there. I do always like the story of reading about the gentleman that started Interactive Brokers, and how he made his money was hiring models and teaching them to be brokers on the floor for options. And of course, nothing like a bunch of tired, overweight guys with hanging around models. They couldn't help but give business to him, and he built his business from there. Mr. Petterfree? Yeah, Mr. Petterfree. Always an interesting story. Anyway, we're going to go on to the other things since it looks like it's going to be pretty quiet. Gilead was off a little bit last night, and let me pull up what they're trading at now. It's off $4, which is 3.5%. Not much to a biotech. One of the reasons that this stock is off is they've got a drug that literally cures Hep C. There aren't many drugs out there that actually cure something. They basically get rid of a lot of the symptoms and mask it and hide it. And, these guys came up with a cure. And guess what? Too many people are getting cured. And things are coming off. They may be seeing lower revenues for this Hep C drug. You could have used the other drug or other drugs and eventually seen your patients die after about 10 or 15 years. I know a couple of people that have it, and they've lost their sight and other facilities over the period of time that they had it. But what you do want to know, of course, is that when you cure a drug, that's it. And I know there's a lot of people saying, hey, the drug companies charging far too much. And I would say that I don't know. I think that decision is above my pay grade. The reason why, I've seen some of these drugs take 25 years to get developed and come out on the market. What is a business that the first day you make a profit is 25 years after you start? What is that worth? And I think I would need the wisdom of Solomon to know that exactly. Some of the other drugs, people take advantage. They're like any business. But Gilead actually curing too many people, it looks like anyway, or too quickly. ADP dropped its strange defamation lawsuit against Zenefits. Zenefits is one of these online companies that worked around ADP. ADP looked like they were trying to develop their own Zenefits-like internal system and business. And, of course, these guys have gotten into a giant mud fight. This is one time where a judge basically said, both of your lawsuits are crap. I want you out of here. You settle this and you shut up about it. Just kudos to a judge that tells people you're wasting a lot of the public's time and my money being a judge here. Shut up. And, of course, there was enough going on both sides. But my guess is that if ADP actually comes out with a business, we'll probably see yet another lawsuit from Zenefits. Samsung Pay has also announced yesterday its expansion of Samsung Pay, its mobile payments solution, signed on 14 new banks, Chase, PNC Bank, TD Bank, Trust, SunTrust, Fifth Third, First Hawaiian, KeyBank, Silicon Valley, Security Service, Federal Credit Union, Navy Federal Credit Union, I think that's a big one, Virginia Credit Union, Associated Bank, Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, never heard of them, and the People's United Bank will all support the service. And as I said, I don't know if this is going to take off, but of any of the people that have been trying to get pay actually across the finish line into a business that actually makes money, Samsung may have it only because their phone works with just about 98% of the terminals that are out there. All you have to do is hold it close, and that's it. And of course, the companies like Walmart don't have to buy new Omron machines for every exchange and checkout lane, although they probably should. But we'll see how that comes along. It is a mad market. We're going to start looking at stocks that have been moving out here. Give me a call at 877-927-6648, and or you can email me. We're now up just 1 point on the S&P cash. So maybe there's some more stuff in there that people did not like in that thing. I read through the beginning of it, but I didn't see anything else. See how gold's reacting. Gold's off 250. Well, it was up fairly strongly before. Let's see what crude is doing. It's still up, 247. Huge move in crude. We'll see that. But, well, this very interesting move almost acts like they did raise rates. And this is the downside to being live. I can't sit here and spend 5 minutes trying to dig through and see exactly what happened. CNBC says the last statement on December was the difference. Okay. I'll have to look at that again during the break. And let's go start looking at some charts right now. As soon as I can find my chart program, El Charto, please come forward. There we go. Now, of stocks that are probably of most interest to folks out here, of course, we talked about Apple yesterday. I didn't think it was going to have a big move. It's still up $2.84. Certainly not a big move. But it just seemed like everybody was way too bearish for Apple and its earnings coming out. That it's holding up here, probably no big surprise. They have $206 billion, and of course, they can buy back another $10 billion at any time they want. My guess is that after earnings, they were probably the first buyer in there after hours last night, and probably just nibbling out here every time it looks like Apple's going to go down. Looks like it catches a bid. So my guess is that probably going to see Apple trade out here sideways. Probably the most interesting thing to me is that on the options, if this thing just plays around here between 115 and 117, there's almost about $250 million in options. Everybody was expecting either Apple to blow out numbers or to really drop the chalupa, and it did neither. And it looks to me like as far as the premiums out there, this could have been one of the first days that a single day dropped $250 million in premium in a single stock. But I'm going to watch it and see how the numbers close today. But I think we're going to be very close. If this thing just goes sideways through Friday, there's going to be a tremendous payday for option market makers on Wall Street because basically they made it both on the puts and the calls. And they were pretty expensive. Looking for $6 either way. In fact, you could make a case that it was even more than that, maybe $7 either way on Apple. AIG, we got our favorite godfather of the street, Mr. Icon, and he's out there pimping his ride. His ride is AIG, that nice little pop out here today, saying that if they bust it up in 3 different companies, it'll be worth way so much more money. I am unsure about that. I am sure that he will probably be able to whip this pony for a little bit farther. It's not that way far away from its all-time highs, which are out here. They're about the upper $64 back to August 10th and July 23rd. So it only needs about another buck to go up there and test it. My guess is he's going to get that. Of stocks that are really horrible, we'll get to those after the break. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com, and you can, Thomas Pettifree. You can give me a email at path@tfnn.com and post a message in the den.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crisp crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And the Price is Right the price is wrong on Akamai. It's down fairly severely. What are we looking at here as we speak? Off 18%, trading off at 61.98. Of course, it's handled on TFNN already today, but basically losing a great deal of their customer base. And the question is, do you really need an Akamai to be your hosting service? You know, when you look at this, you probably want to look at Rackspace. It's RAXX, isn't it? Or is it RAX? Always thought it was double X. Rackspace, you can see the same thing in this. It just hit them a lot sooner than it hit Akamai. But when you look at these, that's it. There's a lot of companies now that are building tractor trailers that basically have everything in them, and you just pull them in a big warehouse. They have all the heating and cooling and everything else to go, and you can control them. If anything bad happens, they just send you out a new tractor trailer load. In fact, you've probably driven right past them on the highways, never really noticed. Both Microsoft and Amazon have really kind of pioneered this containerized version of web services. And it's just not that hard to build your own out there anymore. But if you're looking at Akamai, you probably want to look at Rackspace too to see just how that is. And that is that the Fortune 500 companies are probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of the web business. The very small part of the business is Microsoft and Amazon splitting up, what the rest of the people using lots of data, time, and money are in the, at least selling things, selling service from anything from selling data access to servers and everything else. Amazon may have some of those, and if you're IBM or another big company, you sell those services, like on the Super Bowl day when Domino needs to handle a lot more football related pizza orders, you'll get that. And Rackspace and Akamai and even Amazon will probably spool up its web services for days like that. But the day that just these individual hosting companies could wing it by themselves is getting tougher and tougher. And of course, the one that I look at the most is not say, is it CRM, Salesforce. And this is the one that I find very interesting because this thing is another one of these that's held up here on very, very light volume. I think their earnings are coming up here fairly quickly. But if we're looking at other stock could have problems November 17th for Salesforce, it certainly could be this one, as I suspect they've been doing very well. But I have a feeling that they may have started to lose ground to both Amazon and Microsoft. It's very tough to figure out. And, of course, I think they got a forward number of like 40 to 1 on earnings. So they are incredibly priced for perfection. If anything bad happened at all, and even they just come in line, I think we could see the same kind of stuff out here in Salesforce. Cabela's, I know a lot of people that buy stuff. I never been one, but this had some decent earnings out here today. Volume is good. It is just basically refilling its gap down from the 22nd out here. Numbers were pretty good out here today, 5.4 million shares already, but that's against the almost 12 million shares down on the 22nd just a few days ago. So and you can probably make a case this thing is just filling its gap. We talked about Gilead, a lot of other stocks out here with dubious discussions about whether they're being bought out. This one's probably a little bit more real, and this is Starwood Hotels and Resorts. And I can't remember who's talking about buying them out, but up with very decent volume. The rumors started to swirl yesterday, and of course this thing has had a huge move back up to its highs. I don't think there's anything else you can say other than that, although some of these stocks that have gotten these deals have kind of started to pull back a little bit, and maybe we'll talk about that when we come back. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com or post a message in the den.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking for a great opportunity to diversify your financial portfolio and hedge against the falling stock market, consider the new market-safe Metals Hedge CD from Everbank. This 5-year indexed U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to metals with gold and silver components and allows you to hedge against falling equities with a short component on the SPY ETF. You can earn up to 45% capped upside payment at maturity if gold and silver increase in value and the SPY ETF decreases across annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on the CD. Don't let falling markets get you down. Get the Metals Hedge CD. The November 12th funding deadline is quickly approaching, so hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. This is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're out here flat on the S&P after being up, 20? What would that have been? 18 points on the S&P cash. We're basically flat, 3.12 billion shares. And of course, just the hint of them raising rates was enough to spark the dollar. Dollar index is now solidly above $97 at $97.53, up 62 cents. So people, I guess somebody thinks that's exactly what's happening. But it's hard for me to see that if they actually did raise rates, that we wouldn't be over 100 right now on the dollar index. And my guess is that why the dollar index will continue to firm, probably the market will shake this off in a day or two. And it's just hard for me to believe that the market won't try to discount anything that was said today, say it won't happen, and go right back up to higher levels. A lot of volume out here today, though, already pre-announcement, much less post-announcement. 3.14 billion shares. So it is going to be a very big day, which would suggest at least the highs of today, that 2084, get retested once again. Twitter came out. It was fairly low, open low today, 27.76. It's been kind of constantly moving higher out here today. I haven't looked at it in the last little bit. $30.89, which is not that far from the highs. So we're pretty much at it. My guess is they're just way too short for current conditions, and that is that when they couldn't break it down much past that mid 27 level after the after hours earnings last night, probably a few people trying to get out of this, but I think it was like 30 or 40% short. And that is the problem. You've got to have basically the wheels fall off the wagon when a stock is that short, or they are going to come after you and squeeze you. Other stocks with takeover chatter is Maxim Integrated Circuits. This popped today, gave back a lot of it. But another one on your radar out here if you want to talk about all the plethora. I don't get to use that word every day. I'm going to use it again. Plethora of earnings announcements. This thing did try to break out, and it's just back up to its highs. Back again, right now, we're looking at $40.44. It did go as high as $42 today. Still up 5%, which is not bad. The question is whether or not this is a real deal that would pass muster. And everybody's kind of scratching their head and saying it's kind of a 50-50 deal, and probably why this happened. But like we said, a lot of these stocks had pretty high short interest rates, and that's it. Panera had earnings, PRNA, and nobody was really excited about it. It is down about $4 today. PNRA, if he can spell it, PNRA. And that is a Panera. Volume did pick up compared to the low just on October 22nd. And, of course, higher volume that spiked down here. And I think you could see this certainly drift back down to this 173 level, which was the September 1st low, and again, the June 29th low. This thing's probably going to move back around, but what can you say now? $4. Was like, just it got down to 176. What can you say? Always got to be somebody buying this. They like it. We talked about Twitter. What else do we have out here? Gilead, huh? In the pharma sector, I see PT. Is that right? ICPT, Intercept Pharmaceuticals, did kind of try to break down its previous low. It's back into the trading range, though, today. And like I said, just a ton of volume in many places that you look. Looks like we'll probably continue to see this kind of volatility throughout the end of the day. But it's back in the trading range, so I don't know what you can say about it. Twitter and some of these others, every time someone sees a little lower move out here, they are buying the dips and selling the rips. NOC, which is Northrop Grumman, got a huge contract. This contract will probably run something like 20 or 25 years. It's the next generation of heavy bombers, the B-52, B-1, B-2s, all going to be replaced by this. And I think the first run is 20 bombers, but they're looking at another signing a contract, long-term contract for 100. This bomber will be a heavy bomber and also be able to be flown remotely like a drone. So kind of you can stick somebody in there if you want. You can fly it by itself if you want. And maybe this first hybrid bomber that'll be out there for a while. I've always wondered about not having somebody in there and them taking it over and flying it back and bombing your own country. But one of the reasons you haven't seen a lot about this on TV is this is very hush-hush. Apparently the design is done, and they won on the design, but it is top secret. No one's going to be able to see it until these things basically run off the assembly line and are flying around. And even then, they may be able to hide them for a while. So this may be the product that was bought, paid for, and actually produced, but we may not see it for 5 years. But apparently they are set to go, and I think they can get this thing out and on the market fairly quick to replace the B-52s, which, predate me by, 5 years? I think of 5 years. And another Air Force story from my dad. He worked on the B-52 automatic braking system. His job was to qualify it for flight, and that was it. Just the automatic braking system that's now in every car we have on the B-52s. I don't remember that story. Anyway, what else do we have out here? Maxim, Panera. Kind of interesting to see the news and the deal get signed for Rite Aid. And this thing kind of coming off a bit after the sell of this back down to $8. Not exactly sure why. I'll have to look again at the paperwork tonight. But it's back down with fairly decent volume. Maybe the deal isn't as sweet as many people thought, but it went right back up to that September 16th high yesterday with massive volume. And, of course, off a little today with even higher volume. So you can take a look at that. Let's start looking at some of the stocks that have been making signals that I look at and are in my daily newsletter. Wanted to see how some of these are doing up here at these highs. Costco has just been toying with this high that goes back to February 4th. That had 156.85 for a high with 11 million shares. If we just go back a few days, it did pull back into the trend range, and it's trying to hold these highs up here. I think this thing's got earnings mid next month, if I'm not mistaken. The earnings date, let's take a quick look. December 8th, so just before Christmas. So maybe this can hang up here a little bit farther. We already talked about Salesforce. Delta Airlines, the one that's been up here with light volume compared to its January 23rd high, $51.06, 16 million shares. Got into it 4 days ago with 11 million shares. Today, it's really starting to pull back here. Volume is not all that exciting, but it is back into the trading range. What else do we have out here? Fix. It's Comfort Systems, another one hanging out at its highs. Just kind of going sideways up here. Not really got the kind of volume. Finally has a doji out here today. Let's see what their earnings date is for them. October 29th. So tomorrow. Is that after the bell or before? I'm going to fix FIX. Let's go down here and take a look. FIX. Got to be in here. Comfort Systems, huh? Comfort Systems. Aftermarket close. So after the market tomorrow night, Comfort Systems, FIX is the symbol. Got a little doji out here. Been hanging out at these highs, so we'll be wanting to watch that. HSIC, another one out here at its highs. Henry Schein. HSIC is the symbol if you're not familiar with this company. June 29th at 880,000 shares. Nickel under $150. Went to $151. It's back into the trading range. Energy off the lows was pretty good. It never did test the high volume low of August 24th, though. It did get 99% into that candle on September 28th with about half the volume, and that's all it took. So I don't know what else you can say about that. Mygen, Myred Genetics, MYGN, another one up here that's kind of breathing some rarefied air. That is the September 17th high at 41.81, 1.4 million shares. Got into that today with 650,000 shares. So a lot going on here, a lot of moving pieces. Let's go back and check on the S&P. Up 3 points now, almost 3.3 billion shares. So volume moving fairly significantly. Norwegian Cruise Lines, all these travel companies are looking kind of interesting up here. Now, this is one that it just didn't have a lot. It had some volume about 4 days ago. Spiked up, came back down. Volume's been really light. Light again today. But getting a lot of that in these travel companies. I'm wondering if something's up. July 31st, 2 million shares. Did have 2 million shares on that spike, but it closed back below. And then, of course, the next 2 days, the volume is just really decreased, just 400,000 shares so far today. In China, we were getting at least a little bit of a retrace back into this market with Kuaihu kind of a interesting day with the volume in this one. But what I'm really interested in is how it attacked the August 28th spike at $56.33. It had 3 million shares. We are over that. Look like it's going to close unless something miraculous happens. Look like it's going to close above that, but just 1.2 million shares as we speak. And of course, all these days that you come back in here that this thing's hitting are going to be 3 million shares, 3.5 million shares. So we're really getting into some candles that had some big volume on the way down. Simon Property Group, I was looking at this one. It's got a little reversal candle back on it today. The January 28th, 206.31 high, 1.6 million shares. Got into it with basically 1 million shares yesterday, down on 763 shares, 763,000 shares, excuse me, today, which is a little lighter. But like I said, there's kind of a theme. Wouldn't be surprised with the way that the markets have been kind of bouncing around here to see that. We're up 5 points on the S&P cash now. It's just hard for me to see a market that pulls back significantly before the end of the year now. You'd really have to have the Fed come out and say that, you know, we are 100% raising rates anytime soon. Like I said, everybody, probably just a good excuse for some people to sell out here. And more interesting to me than anything else would be whether or not the dollar index can hold above this level. You know, we never could get down to the 93.30 level on the dollar index. And, you know, now that we busted above resistance, which was 96.30, and we've held it for a few days, question is just when are we going to go tag that 100 on the dollar index today? I mean, you know, we're at the high of the day for the dollar index, so nothing's really changed in that. And looking at some of the other stocks that I thought had a chance to bounce, just not doing much. DDD, let's look at the 3D stocks I have on this show for a while, and I will check my email. Yeah, Ron says he wants me to look at these. These things have been trying to make a bottom out here, and the market just has not helped at all. At least, and again, this may go back to tax selling, and you may think of some of these stocks coming down here with light volume, but you may have to wait all the way through November until all the tax selling is over for the year. And what is tax selling? The idea is maybe you own Microsoft and you made a wad of cash, and you're going to have to pay a lot of a lot of taxes on it. And what do? You got a big stinker like 3D Systems in there. Well, I'm going to sell 3D Systems, take my loss, so I don't have to pay taxes on my Microsoft trade. And normally that, especially if you're in a hedge fund or if you're in a big Wall Street firm, most of those are done by Thanksgiving. And sometimes you get them a few days later. Sometimes you've got a fiscal year that changes and it's over by mid-November. But if you're going to get tax selling, it's normally for not retail, but for the big men of Wall Street, over by at least Thanksgiving, sometimes a little bit more, but they try to get everything done by the 1st of December. And at that point, sometimes you see some of these stocks have some nice moves because all that selling is over. We'll be back in a minute. And give me plenty of time to give me a call. 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Dollar index at 97.79. It is ripping. Looks to me like it's getting ready to make its run to 100. And I don't know. Well, I tell you what, there's probably 20 times when I thought, that strong dollar, maybe they have it this time. Maybe they're going to get it down. But they never could get it back down to that 93.30 level. And broke above 96.30 last week. And now what do you do with it at these levels? You got to think it's going to retag and test that 100 that it had before. And my guess is going to do it fairly quickly. The most interesting thing is the S&P's and kind of shaking it all off. Here we're at 2075 on the S&P cash. We're up 9 points. But a lot of things not acting correctly at all. I have some trades that should have done well linked to oil. They're doing nothing. One's down 2 cents. The other one's down 13 cents. Should have been really ripping out here. So there is a lot of divergence. That divergence probably caused by the dollar. I guess, all this free money continues to have a lot of unintended consequences in the way things are wrapping up. But we shall see. Anyway, a question in the den about Best Buy. I've been in there a little bit over the last few weeks. Actually skipped out, ran over and looked at the new laptop from Microsoft and the new Surface 4. I think maybe I might buy the Surface 4. I'm still thinking about it. The interesting part to Best Buy is what's going to make their fall, and there still isn't any kind of definitive idea about which version of the high def that's going to be used, either the Vizio or the Samsung. And I got to say that that's going to continue to put pressure on Microsoft unless there's a definitive winner in the standards for either Dolby or the Samsung version of this. And as it gets closer and closer to Christmas, I still don't see a clear winner, which means that I think a lot of people that are thinking about spending a lot of the big bucks for these 4 and 8K televisions are going to have a hard time making a decision of which one to buy. It's going to be another VHS Betacam war, retroactively, 35 years later about here. But if I was thinking about buying it, we'll be back down to that 32 level. And I think that probably, 31 and a half, 32 is where I'd look at it. And I think maybe you get it before Christmas. I think I may be a little bit earlier than the market in talking about all the problems with them selling 4K televisions for Christmas. I think analysts probably know it. They're probably not talking a lot about it. But Best Buy's, I think you can probably count in their smartphone sales. And there's not going to be a lot of surprise in how many they're going to sell there. So it's, to me, whatever else is gravy this year. And it doesn't look like Xboxes have really been pushing very hard. And it doesn't look like anything else is moving. I think the big thing that they're counting on is a lot of these big high dollar, super high resolution TVs. And that still becomes problematic. Anyway, I see Tom O'Brien warming up in the bullpen. I think it's going to be quite the last hour of trading. And, of course, we go right on to earnings yet again tonight. So this market does not stop, will not give you a second to breathe. We'll probably be looking into Friday and thinking, boy, was this a week? It's this week. Anyway, hurry up and wait. Now we're on to earnings yet again for the next couple of days. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.